morning, everybody, and welcome. Another early morning. And look, I gave him extra cat treats. He said, all right, he gave me extra cat treats. I will come in. So, welcome back, cat. Okay. Kind of wants to go outside. He was sleeping. He slept in a little bit today. So, hey, I'm filming. Now he has to wait. Okay. Hey, flying this week, it's actually beginning to get busy. Last week was a little busy. This week, actually, the airport's getting back to normal. Now, the airline I fly, Delta, everything's social distance. Get your wipes, required to wear masks, feel good about it. But there was people in the airport, the restaurants, actually people in the restaurants eating. It was just nice to see. It's like a feeling of normalcy when you're out there. So really good to see. So yeah, I was kind of excited about that. When you get to see that. So good deal. All right. I always wonder though, they have those announcements before the plane starts. They also have to think about the smoke detectors. It's illegal to break a smoke detector or to dismantle a smoke detector. Why? Why? If I'm someone that's my deal, that I just want to dismantle smoke detectors, am I going to listen to that and say, oh man, I can't do it because Delta said I can't? Or am I just going to go dismantle it anyway? I think I would just dismantle it anyway, so I don't think it matters. So I don't know why they're telling me that. It just seems like kind of a waste of time. Smoke detectors there. I've never known anybody that says, my favorite thing to do, I take apart smoke detectors. I can't stand them. So I don't know. Please, when you, when you decide to sign off, because I really get boring after a while, go to the very end of the video. I've tagged on some SCLT, and it was incredible. I got it from two people, from Olaf and from an anonymous source. When I opened it, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. One of those kind of situations. So take a look at the very end, if anything, before you go, and just see it. I have it on there. And why are you licking me? Cats, back to the licking thing. What? Okay, I'm going to show some records. Okay, very cool. All right, so he's going to be, dude, what? That's not a kiss. You're softening up my skin to bite me. I know what you're doing. So let's talk records. Look, records. Okay, let's begin here. We have here Orchestra Super Warhol de Perical. It's this thing of buying records, the titles you can't pronounce, and I'm addicted to it. Hey, I can't pronounce that. I better buy it. Why? What are you doing? Okay. This is another one of those from Analog Africa. I promise you, I got stacks of them here, folks. And actually, Perical is it's a city. It's a northern city in northern Ghana, which would make sense, right? More of a Muslim enclave, and so a lot of the music has more of this Muslim feel. And this is an actual group. Quite a few of the ones I show have been, more compilations. This came from this particular group. And the guy that led the group was named Musa Mama. And he knew how to play an instrument, which was rare. His father knew how to read music and play an instrument, and people used to come and flock to him to say, show me how. Well, he also learned, and so again, people would come. They would stay with them for even a month, trying to learn how to play instruments. Because many of the bands that started, no one knew how to play an instrument. They just grabbed and began going. So they became very important to try to train people. This music has a little bit of a psych feel in parts. And really what kind of gives it a lot of that is there is a very heavy organ sound to it. Super solid drumming. And that helps, give it that feel. There you go. That's the actual group there. It mixes the high life of Benin. I learned that, Jonathan. Thank you, Benin, along with the Afrobeat that was coming out of Nigeria. So kind of the mixture of it, again with more of a Muslim type rhythm section going on. I mean, the drumming is really, really solid. The song's basically socio-political in nature, which wasn't that uncommon, and a lot of it has a real Middle Eastern guitar flavor to it. I mean, definitely you can see the roots on there, and there's even a few, it reminds me kind of Graceland when you hear some of that music. And so there is some different feels happening within this album. The guy that really came up with a lot, his name was Sammy Ben Rajib. When he was trying to find all these albums in the aughts, he was getting all these ones, he was finding them, he was bringing them in, he got really, really sick. And I mean, it just got bad. Well, they found out that a lot of these albums coming from Africa had a fungus on them. And you know, you could see it or whatever, but because they're coming out of this tropical climate, and this fungus made him extremely sick. He had to go, they had to sterilize his house, clear it, he had to get rid of all of his carpet, all that kind of stuff, so he could continue to do this project and try to, you know, try to sterilize some of the albums. So kind of an interesting thing. I don't think there wasn't any booklet that came with this, but there is. The inner sleeves really, as our friend Vinyl Juice would say, are filled with words. So you can kind of get a feel for the music. Great stuff, as always, from Analog Africa. Very interesting. Again, a little bit different sound coming out of there. And let me move this around here. Sorry. You know, every time I have to reset the room because I just don't got no room to do any of this. All right. Someone, and I'm sorry if you in your comments let me know. This was some again some SCLT, and I can't find it written down. And let me tell you, I got a book where I tried to write down everything that everyone said, and I can't find this. No, I did find this one. I'm sorry. This came from Jeff Silvertunas. I'm sorry, Jeff. The name, it goes way beyond me being able to say it. This came out in 1986. It's called Beast from East, and it's a compilation. It's a compilation of garage rock, punk rock songs, and it's excellent. Really, really good. It's kind of the stuff that I was really listening to at that time. On here, there's songs from the Cynics, the Skeptics, the Dwarfs, the Libertines. In 1986, the Libertines have a song on here. In fact, I'm going to play you a snippet of theirs. Just a super nice compilation with super cool art. You know, I would have picked this if I was in a record store and I saw this with that artwork. I would have grabbed it. Beast from East. It's just really, really neat. So great stuff. Jeff, really appreciate that album.
Sometimes you know I have those thoughts, and everybody wants to be my sister. Everybody wants to be my sister. Everybody wants to be my sister.
And another SCLT. Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. This came from Brandon from Mr. Hall of Fame. He sent this album along. This came out in 2003, and basically, well, it's Buddy and Buddy Guy and Junior Wells playing, and they were a real duo. They both had played with Muddy Waters, but then they began forming their own band. They put out a lot of albums together. So this is just a live set of what they did, and they have some of the the typical messing with the kid, no use crying, Junior shuffle on here, but they also do like I can't get no satisfaction, which when you hear Buddy Guy doing I can't get no satisfaction, it's a lot of fun. Now, it is a live album, and this one does suffer from production issues. The vocals are not up front. You hear the guitar and you hear, the harmonica. It really definitely is more the guitar and bass that you hear. Some of it's a little distorted, and the vocals are kind of quiet in the background. That was the only thing that kind of took away from the album. There's a lot of power going on and a lot of excitement. Just again, some great classic blues. So always fun to hear when Buddy Guy and Junior Wells get together. I mean, these two, what a powerful trio. Now, here's something I just purchased just a week or so ago. It's the Velvet Underground, and it's the Andy Warhol Factory broadcast from New York in 1966. So this was an extremely early Velvet Underground. And I was really disappointed on this album. I love Andy Warhol, and I'm not trying to be a completist. I already said that in my last video. But I tried to pick up to listen to what was going on. And this thing, the recording, it sounded like it was just off a portable tape player. You could hear the guitar, you could hear the bass. The vocals were, you couldn't hear them. It's like no one put a mic up to the vocals. Just almost impossible to hear. And the drumming, it was so quiet. I mean, Mo Tucker was not a loud drummer, but again, she wasn't mic'd. Only the guitar and bass were mic'd. It's a 2-record set, and if you see it and you're a Velvet fan, say no. I had to give it a try. It was at my local store, Radio Wasteland, and I always get great stuff from him. You don't know, he didn't know, so I gave it a shot. Once in a while we get that stuff that we don't like. Guess what? I've learned I'm not going to keep it. Gotta go. Alright, here is the one. And I'm not sure, this is the one, I'm not sure who sent me. A Blair 1523. Isn't that a great group? Actually, they came up with the name of the group. There was an Outcast song called 1523 Blair. So they took the name, we'll just call ourselves Blair 1523. And that they did. And it is on York Records. So, this group, kind of the late 80s, they only put out an EP, nothing more. This one is called Beautiful Debris. It came out in 1993. And Sonic Boom from Spaceman 3, he put it out. He had heard their EP, they had played with them, really liked them, but the group just didn't last. And so they broke up. And it was a sextet. So Sonic Boom put this album together. Again, it came out in 93. This is like one of those underrated modern psych bands. I mean, you talk about there's a lot of shoegaze obviously going on. If they're hanging out with Spaceman 3, they're up in that whole scene. Northern England, what was going on in Scotland. You get that kind of music. There's a song on here, it's called Swell. That's just this rave up, but there's just this added drone going on in the background, and these guys had drone. It didn't overpower it like Spaceman 3, but it was definitely there. And there's this organ that just filled in the songs, and it in a very good way. Sometimes organ can be overpowering and take things over. Not the way they did on this one. Psych 1, it just has this kind of I don't know, dreamy, but it has, you know, the vocals are kind of echoing, and there's just this sighing going on in the background. I mean, not dreamy, it's just drone. Again, just this cool drone. You know, if you really like, you know, Jesus and the Mary Chain Gang, My Bloody Valentine, Spaceman 3, Blair 1523 would just be right up your alley. And you know, you look on Discogs, it's not that expensive to get. Again, it's kind of Neil Sykes shoegaze of the early 90s, I think would be best to describe it. Just fun stuff. And again, whoever sent this, please just tell me, okay? Because I did, for whatever reason, I can't find it written down. Awesome album, Blair 1523, from a group that really disappeared. This is one that a lot of you don't know. You know, I like to try to show stuff that you might not know. This one, my group is called Coldplay. And Coldplay, they formed in the late 90s, and this is their second album. This one didn't do too well. Coldplay, it's a rush of blood on the head. Sold poorly. It only sold, well, what was it? 2.9 million in Britain, 14 million all, you know, around the world. So I'm sure it was a bit of a disappointment for these guys. So this is my favorite Coldplay. Again, as I said with my collection, I'm trying to get what I really liked, my favorite. And this one is chock full of the hits. I played it over and over. When you look at a Coldplay, I mean, when their first one came out, I bought it, and I became an instant fan of Yellow, but I didn't like everything on that album. This one, I liked everything on this album, and to me, it was just absolutely one of my most favorite things. You know, they had, you know, Politic, Clocks, The Scientist, or all on here. God Put a Smile on Your Face. It's just chock full of hits. I thought Coldplay, you know, for a sophomore album, they blew it out of the ballpark. Incredible. So happy to have it. You may not have heard of it, then you've been under a rock, right? So it's just what a delight. And then there is Ramstein, and this is Rose Red. Yes, Rose Red came out in 2005. Go. It has a booklet. Do you mind? Okay. Getting a little headbutt. Okay, nice little booklet. Dude, he wants me to start petting him again. Oh, hold out, hold out. Look, woo-hoo, look at that, man. That's from an icebreaker. And they always have pictures of them looking like they're absolutely insane and scary as hell. That's what they're all about. So this is Rammstein's, what was it, 5th album. 6 of the songs came from from their session of their 4th album, Rise Rise. And then some, you know, a different number of different ones. It's a very good album. Is it their best? No, it's not. But it had a couple of songs I really like. Benzene is on here, and it's kind of their commentary about the world is, dude, the world is becoming too reliant. Dude, this is why you go outside. This is why cat doesn't come in, okay? There's reasons why. So Benzene is just about our reliance on oil and kind of their own take on it. The fun song on here is Te Quiero Puta, and Te Quiero Puta is I want you bitch in Spanish, okay? So they have their Teutonic flavor going on, the Ramstein, and the crunching guitars and the hard drums. And then they bring in a mariachi band, and you have these brassy, happy horns and these background women singing, and it's absolutely hilarious and really works. It is so much fun. But just a mariachi band and a Ramstein album. Wow. Pretty cool stuff. For the most part, what it does is there's this the verses are tense. They're a little more subdued, with the singing, it just kind of growls, and then they hit the chorus, and when the chorus hits, it explodes. It's like a Ramstein concert. Flames shoot up everywhere. That's how it works, and you could almost see like their songs were written for their concerts. So just this tenseness, this explosion of music. Fan of the group. I have been. I will. I had everything on CD. Once again, now I'm picking and choosing what I want. I like to hear Rise. I think that's one of my favorite ones. So excited to pick that up. My local guy Jim at Radio Wasteland got that. Then we have, this came from John Bolger. He sent me this SCLT, the complete By the Sea concert by Earl Gardner. All Music, which I have up there. My All Music book is back on jazz. Rates this as the very best Earl Gardner album ever. They said he was just in fine form. He came out of Pittsburgh. Guy couldn't read music. When you listen to his playing, it's hard to believe he did not read music. He just kind of learned how to play. Actually, he's able to do a sample. Can you believe that? So what's interesting, and when you listen to that sample, his left hand plays. It's almost like a rhythm guitar. He sets this kind of rhythm going on, and his left hand with the rest of the music, it's like just slightly behind. He plays just slightly behind what his left hand's doing. So you get this kind of a cool, like a strumming sound from the left hand. And of course then the melody and everything's being played with the light. Really neat how he does that. On this album we had Denzo DaCosta Best on drums and Eddie Calhoun on bass. So he just had, it was a trio. Great fun music. He never got into bop. He never got into the bebop, any of that. He stuck with what he knew, and it was definitely it was more swing oriented, pop standards, a little more, shall we say, I guess. He just didn't veer off into another direction, and so that's what you get with this showbiz type tunes. I guess might be a good way to describe it. Great listen, and I could see why when they said, "Hey, this is one of his very best." Definitely was. Sounded absolutely incredible. Great sound. A reissue off Columbia. So they redid the 6i here, and he would just go in. He did 3 albums, and he went in one time into the studio, no plan, nothing in his head, just sat down, knocked out 3 albums right then and there, boom, 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 and left. Incredible. Again, couldn't read music or anything, but he knew music. It was in him. It was in his body. finally, we're going to finish up with, I showed a lot of things here. North Mississippi All-Stars, I bought this. Dickerson Brothers, who were they? Are they Lander? No, Luke and Cody. Luke and Cody, they did this. This came out in, actually, the North Mississippi All-Stars, they started in 1996. This is their 9th album. Luke, he actually went on to play with the Black Crowes, I think in 2007. So he does both this group and the Black Crowes. If you, you know, it has just that, that kind of that bluesy sound that you would find from the Alabama area. You know, I think of Burnside, R.L. Burnside, that kind of feel, that kind of guitar. You know, North Mississippi All-Stars, excellent group. They really played some really good music. Isn't that a great book? And New West, where the label I got this from, had this huge sale going on, and up like 65% off, and so I bought some of their stuff. On here, Mavis Staples sings on some of the songs. You have Jason Isbell, he sings and plays, and who else? Oh, one of the Betts, Dickie Betts' son, also plays. So fun listen, really enjoyed that.
You got to reap just what you sow. You got to reap what you sow. Bye bye, baby, bye bye. Bye bye, baby, bye bye. You can call back on. You can call back on.
All right, there we go. Again, at the very end, I have the VCL, the SCLT that just came in. Please look at that. By now, you're not watching probably anyway, so, but if you are, thank you very much. A lot of samples this week. Really, thank you so much for dropping by. I just went long because of everything I'm editing in. Enjoy your week. Cat says bye.